Yours, Mr. Chair.
Good morning, everybody. So we will get right into it. I will call to order the Public Improvement Commission hearing of October 19th, 2023. Mr. Liming, please take a roll call.
Certainly. Would the representative from the Public Works Department please state his or her name for the record?
Yasha Franklin Hodge.
Property Management Department.
Callahan.
Transportation Department.
Amy Cordy.
Water and Sewer Commission. Peter, Water and Sewer Commission.
I'm sorry, it's Peter Salazar, Boston Water and Sewer Commission.
Perfect, thank you, sir. Disabilities Commission.
Sarah Leon.
And I understand that we do not have a representative from ISD today, but we do have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. First up on the administrative side, hearing minutes 1, at the request of the Public Improvement Commission staff, the acceptance of the minutes of the PIC hearing held on October 5th, 2023. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the public hearing minutes of October 5th, 2023.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. All right. On to public hearing continued, number 1, on a petition by Vicinity Energy Boston Incorporated for a granted location to install a steam distribution main and associated infrastructure within the following public ways in Boston proper: Brookline Avenue, generally between Lansdowne Street and Overland Street, Lansdowne Street at Brookline Avenue. This was new business on September 7th and had public hearings on September 21st and October 5th. As shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan, Brookline Avenue, Vicinity Fenway Steam Line Extension, Phase 2, 5 sheets, dated September 14th, 2023. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, give us a brief reintroduction to the project, and let us know about any changes since your last hearing.
Good morning, Commissioners. So Vicinity is going to request a continuance for November 2nd and reconvene at that time. Thank you.
All right. Did we have anyone who wanted to speak at all on this prior to us considering the motion to continue? Yep, Tim, go ahead.
Hi, this is Tim Matuk. I'm a public works engineer for National Grid. And I have major concerns about this project. They got phase 1 approved without meeting our conditions for approval. And I do not feel comfortable with phase 2 being approved until those concerns are met.
Okay, Vicinity folks, are you in conversations with National Grid?
Yes, we had a meeting with Tim this week. And I believe I was on it last week as well, trying to work through their concerns and hopefully satisfy them before we continue move forward.
Okay, so I guess my ask would be that those conversations continue and that prior to your next public hearing that you provide PIC staff with an update on progress of those discussions so that we can make sure we have an understanding of where things are, and hopefully there's some resolution and mutual agreement by the time you come back for your next public hearing.
Sounds good. Fair enough.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, excellent. Do I hear a motion to continue public hearing continued number 1?
I'll make a motion to continue public hearing continued number 1 as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, Commissioner.
On to next item, public hearing number 1 on a petition by Cheney Schuler LLC for the acceptance of pedestrian easement adjacent to Cheney Street Public Way, Roxbury, located on its southwesterly side at address numbers 4 through 18, generally between Blue Hill Avenue and Hartwell Street. This was new business on October 5th, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement Plan for 218 Cheney Street, Roxbury, one sheet dated June 2023. Would the proponents please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give us a brief reintroduction to the project, and let us know about anything that has changed since your last hearing.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Ricky Guerra, representing the project sponsor, JPNDC, and with me today is Coleman Horsley, Senior Project Engineer at Niche Engineering. So the project at 4 to 18 Cheney Street includes the demolition of an existing single-story former automotive garage and the construction of a new 48-unit affordable supportive housing development for seniors. The design, including the public improvements submitted in this request, really reflect an extensive multi-year community process, and it features a building that is designed to meet Passive House standards, includes ample green space for both programming and resident enjoyment, as well as units that are adaptable to various levels of mobility. In addition to this, we have a service program partnership with the Upham's Corner Health Center's PACE program, so the program of all-inclusive care for the elderly. And so this partnership really ensures that both our future residents as well as any PACE-enrolled neighborhood resident can continue to receive the support that they need to age in community. So I'd like to thank you for your time this morning, and I'll now hand things off to Coleman to take us through the rest.
Thank you, Ricky. Just gonna share my screen. All right, so as you can see on the screen right now, the first item is the pedestrian easement. We are proposing to set up a pedestrian easement to allow for a minimum of 5-foot accessible walk along Cheney Street. The easement limits are shown in the plan in front of you. There are no changes from the previous new business hearing.
Excellent, thank you very much. Commissioners, questions, comments? PIC staff or members of the public?
PIC staff is all set. I will take this opportunity to remind the public, if you wish to ask questions or offer testimony, please use the raised hand function at the bottom of your screen. But I do not see anything at this time.
All right, seeing none, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 1?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Cheney Schuler LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to Cheney Street as read in the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. On to public hearing number 2, a petition by Cheney Schuler LLC for the making of specific repairs within Cheney Street Public Way, Roxbury, located on its southwesterly side at address numbers 4 through 18, generally between Blue Hill Avenue and Hartwell Street, consisting of curb and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated street lighting infrastructure, street trees, and driveway curb cuts. This was new business on October 5th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repairs Plan 4 through 18 Cheney Street, Roxbury, 2 sheets dated September 2023. Will the petitioners please reintroduce themselves and their affiliations and walk us through this action along with any changes that have been made since your last hearing?
Thank you. Again, Coleman Horsley, Niche Engineering, engineer of record for the Cheney Street project. So this specific repair request is an extension of the sidewalk. So we are removing the existing building. As Ricky mentioned earlier, this will increase the sidewalk width for easier pedestrian access. As a result, we're also able to add 3 street trees as part of this process. We are providing a minimum of 5-foot clear width for the sidewalk behind the street trees and overall sidewalk width of 9 feet, including the street tree locations. Also, we are revising the street lighting infrastructure and upgrading it to the newest standards and adding 2 street lights with crossings across Cheney Street. And the curb will be reset and there will be a proposed loading zone out front for the PACE neighborhood citizens. And shadow content will be added in accordance with Boston Smart Utilities program. There have been no changes from the previous new business hearing.
Thank you. Commissioners, questions, comments?
Your loading zone should be signed but not striped.
Sounds great. We'll do that.
Any other questions, comments? PIC staff or members of the public?
All set?
All right, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 2?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Cheney Schuler LLC for the making of specific repairs within Cheney Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, on to public hearing number 3 on a petition by NStar Electric Company, DBA Eversource Energy for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Dorchester and South Boston, consisting of curb realignment and reconstruction of the roadways, sidewalks, pedestrian ramps, and driveway curb cuts, as well as new and relocated storm drain infrastructure, speed humps, and raised crosswalks. Plaisted Road between Springdale Street and Savin Hill Avenue, Savin Hill Avenue between Plaisted Road and Denny Street / Grampian Way, as well as between Grampian Way / Evandale Terrace and Old Colony Terrace, Caspian Way at Savin Hill Avenue, Denny Street at Savin Hill Avenue / Grampian Way between Savin Hill Avenue / Denny Street and Savin Hill Avenue / Evandale Terrace, Evandale Terrace at Savin Hill Avenue / Grampian Way, Old Colony Terrace between Savin Hill Avenue and William T. Morrissey Boulevard, Monsignor Dennis F. O'Callahan Way, generally between Old Colony Avenue and Kemp Street, Dr. Michael Gavin Way at Monsignor O'Callahan Way, Kemp Street, generally between Monsignor O'Callahan Way and Major O'Connor Way, Major Michael J. O'Connor Way between Kemp Street and Dorchester Avenue at Major O'Connor Way, Father Songin Way, Father Anthony Songin Way between Dorchester Avenue and Boston Street, generally between Father Songin Way and Ellery Street. This was new business on October 5th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repair Plans, Andrew Square to Dewar Street, Dorchester, South Boston, 30 sheets dated October 2023. Would the petitioners please introduce themselves, their affiliations, give us a brief reintroduction to this project, and let us know about any changes or developments since your last hearing.
Hi, well, yeah, thank you for that. Some comprehensive streets. Hi, my name is Dean Bevis. I'm a project manager. I work for Eversource. With me, I have Aaron Wells, Greg Lucas, and I think that is everybody. Oh, and Chris Hayward. So this project, Andrew Square to Dewar, is a underground transmission project, approximately 1 mile in the city streets of Boston through the Savin Hill area. Goes up Morrissey Boulevard, which is DCR, and then goes through the MEM area in Andrew Square, and ends in our Andrew Square area substation and starts in the Dewar Street. So basically a connection between our Dewar Street and Andrew Square substations. The depth of the excavation is approximately 4.5 feet down. We do several crossings of utilities and many reconstructions of sidewalks and roadways. So we do have a very comprehensive set of GeoWell documents and represented by a specific repair plan. I will show you the updates that have been conducted since our new business hearing, unless the commission wants me to do something else.
Todd, should we have them scroll through the pages, or how would you like to handle the review here?
Up to the commission. I think if we kind of just, maybe it's worth highlighting those couple intersections where there were some significant upgrades, and then otherwise we can just kind of answer questions after the fact.
That sounds good.
So I will open the specific repair plan.
And yes, we'll focus on the specific repair plan first, and then the next action will focus on the grant allocation plan.
Thank you. This is the specific repair plan. I will scroll quickly through the work and then focus on our mitigation efforts. Can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. So here we are starting in Springville, the northernmost section of the site. Travel through Plaisted Road, then we head on to Savin Hill Ave. And then here we begin our portion of mitigation effort. And this is these additional curb lines and sidewalk repairs. This is no change for new business. So this is part of our mitigation effort here. A few catch basin movements, curb lines, and additional crosswalks. Any questions on this page? Okay, moving on. Now we're continuing down Grampian Way. This section additionally is an additional portion of mitigation. We had an additional crosswalk, elevated crosswalk here, and some curb line with additional drainage management. This is in the right across here in the courts, and this was an additional mitigation. Any questions here? Okay, thank you. Moving on, Grampian Way. This is a new aspect from our previous specific repair plan. We have specific callouts for the protection and maybe potential adjustments to the pavement adjacent to these ancient trees. So I want to I think this was included by the Parks Department, so this was included in our specific repair plan update. Okay, moving on, we have these rebuilds. Nothing new here except to get additional mitigation here to protect these trees and root systems with our sidewalk. We will have an arborist on hand when we're excavating. Our bond crew will excavate in such a way to protect the tree and its root system. We do have our licensed arborist, Chris Hayward, on the phone, and he will be attending the project construction and to ensure the protection of these trees. Savin Hill, no updates. Savin Hill Ave, we, based on the comments that we received last week, we moved our crosswalk to align with the existing crosswalk, and you can see the existing ladder here, and our new ladder will be in the same spot. So this is similar to what's existing. But this is a new raised crosswalk, which was mitigation. And then here we have another speed hump. Okay. Now we're moving on to, well, this is the intersection between Old Colony Terrace and Morrissey Boulevard. No new updates here. We're going to be moving on to the MEM. Marilyn McCormick, and as part of our discussion with additional ramps, I will go through the additional portions or modifications to the specific repair plans since new business. Here we're going to repair a piece of this ramp. Concrete flange, and these are a culmination of a few site visits with the city about the pedestrian ramps to ensure that all pedestrian ramps are up to code along the route. No new updates here. Here we're replacing several DWPs, which are detectable warning panels, as these are not meeting code. And you can see them highlighted. I can zoom in. Ongoing. Again, you see some call outs here, additional repair of a DWP, 2 additional DWPs in Kemp Street. And then also we have additional DWP repairs here, concrete flange here. These 2 DWPs and this concrete flange will be repaired. Those are new. Sidewalk repair, nothing new here. Sidewalk repair. This intersection, we're repairing this and a potential curb line here on this DWP.
Sorry, could we go back to the intersection of O'Connor and Dot Ave? Yes.
Yeah.
Was it ever explored splitting that ramp on Page South?
This ramp?
Yes, so they're 2 separate ramps.
No, it was never discussed, but we did meet out there with the ramp specialist in a in-person meeting.
Do you mind, was it with the curb ramp team?
We met out there with Mike, I forget his last name.
Mike Sinclair?
Mike Sinclair, yeah.
Great, okay.
And really, really great drum, great to work with. So.
Fantastic.
this was a combination.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, and this is the completion into Andrews Square. Any questions from the commissioners?
No, I just wanted to also note that Eden from the Eversource team reached out to us regarding accessible parking spaces along O'Connor Way, and we're working through the details on that and looking forward to diving in to ensure that those parking spaces are relocated for construction.
Absolutely. Okay. No more questions. If there's no more questions, commissioners, I'll move on to the GOL.
We need to vote on the the specific repairs first. Let me just check with Todd, PAC staff, members of the public. Anyone else have a comment, question?
I'm all set. Amy, was that you that chimed in?
Yeah, no, we're all, I mean, like, these are largely our asks, so, we're good.
Yeah, I think we're all set.
All right. I will just say I very much appreciate all the effort that's gone in here. This has been a very long process, and appreciate the folks at Eversource working through these many streets with us and getting to a reasonable mitigation plan for the residents that will be affected by this construction. So thank you for that. And with that, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 3?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by NSTAR Electric for the making of specific repairs in Placedead Road, 7 Hill Ave, Caspian Way, Denny Street, Grampian Way, Evandale Terrace, Old Colony Terrace, Monsignor Dennis O'Callahan Way, Dr. Michael Galvin Way, Kemp Street, Major Michael O'Connor Way, Dorchester Ave, Father Anthony Songdin Way, and Boston Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstained? So moved. On to public hearing number 4. We're going to read the street list again.
Here we go.
On a petition by NSTAR Energy Company, DBA Eversource Energy, for a granted location to install a new electrical transmission line and associated infrastructure within the following public ways in Dorchester and South Boston: Placedead Road between Springdale Street and Savin Hill Avenue, Savin Hill Avenue between Placedead Road and Denny Street / Grampian Way, as well as between Grampian Way / Evandale Terrace and Old Colony Terrace, Grampian Way between Savin Hill Avenue / Denny Street and Savin Hill Avenue / Evandale Terrace, Old Colony Terrace between Savin Hill Avenue and William T. Morrissey Boulevard, Monsignor Dennis F. O'Callahan Way, generally between Old Colony Avenue and Kemp Street generally between Monsignor O'Callahan Way and Major O'Connor Way, Major Michael J. O'Connor Way between Kemp Street and Dorchester Avenue at Major O'Connor Way / Father Songin Way, Father Anthony Songin Way between Dorchester Avenue and Boston Street generally between Father Songin Way and Ellery Street. New business from October 5th, 2023, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, granted location plan, Springdale Street, Placedead Road, Savin Hill Avenue, Grampian Way, Old Colony Terrace, O'Callahan Way, Kemp Street, O'Connor Way, Father Songin Way, and Ellery Street, Boston, 24 sheets dated September 15th, 2023. Would the petitioners please reintroduce themselves and their affiliations, and then give us a brief overview of the granted location action and any changes since your last hearing. Dean, you're muted.
Hi, my name is Dean Bevis, Project Manager, Eversource. I'm here to represent the Andrew Square Dewar GOL, covering the streets as you said, just mentioned. This is an underground transmission line connecting the Andrew Square to Dewar Street substation. Excavation depths approximately 4 to 5 feet, with some variations due to utility crossings. Also in my team, I have Aaron Wells, Chris Hayward, and Greg Lucas from Time Bond. If it's okay with the commission, I can go through the GOL here, the GOL statement here.
Yep, please proceed.
Okay, so these are the overview plans. Our GOL really starts here in Placedead Road. This is the northernmost section of our utility line. As you can see, we travel through Springdale Street into Placedead Road. And also on the top, if you mention, or if you look and observe, you can see the plan and profile for an average depth. The hatch mark is the depth of our utility, and ground surface is the uppermost line. So you can see it's an average of 5-6 feet, but we do have several utilities, and these are called out along the path. The plan and profile, the profile is synonymous with the path of the line beneath it. So we're going to go through. It's page 1 on the Placedead. It's page 2 in the Savin Hill and Grampian Way. As you can see, we have some, we're accounting for the new BWSC work, and then gas main work. And then we're traveling up over utilities, and underneath utilities as required, into Grampian Way. We have manhole 2. Then we go through Savin Hill Ave, and this is Savin Hill Ave and the Old Colony Terrace. Okay, moving on, then we're going to be heading up into the MEM and the Old Colony Way. This is manhole 6. O'Callahan Way, in the intersection of Gavin Way. We have some deep utilities here which we'll be traveling under. Again, O'Callahan Way into Kemp Street and O'Connor Way with manhole 7. O'Connor to Father Sanjan Way, Boston Street, and with completion in Ellery Street. That's all the
All right, commissioners, questions?
I have a question, Dr. Councilman and Soup. On Plaisted and Savin Hill Road, we have planned water main installations. I know you accounted for them in your design, but assuming your petition is approved, do you have a proposed start date for construction?
I wish it was a simple question. Yes, we absolutely do. And we've been working with the BWSC to facilitate the work. And we know we've been in contact with BWSC members. I don't have their names right off the top of my head. But once we have a schedule, we'll be working with BWSC and communicating that very clearly. So our hope is to continue street excavation as long as we can. Ultimately, might be next season, it might be this winter. So, but we'll be in touch with BWSC for sure.
Thank you.
Commissioners, other questions? EIC staff or members of the public?
Couple things real quick. Dean or someone else, if you could maybe speak to your coordination with BHA regarding the on-site work, as some of that work falls outside of the public right-of-way, and also if you can speak to your coordination with the Parks Department regarding your installation within Springdale Street, which is a private way abutted by the Parks Department.
Okay. Yes, is Meredith on? Okay, that's fine.
I am, Dean.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was struggling with the mute. I'm happy to speak to Mr. Liming. I'm happy to speak to our coordination with Boston Housing Authority. We are in constant communication with that group. We have meetings scheduled every other week to discuss progress, along with general outreach within the Mary Ellen McCormick community, including tabling at the Fresh Truck events throughout the summer. And we'll be working closely with them along with Boston Public Schools as we get into the construction aspect at the Mary Ellen McCormick housing development.
So we did indeed, thank you, Meredith. We did indeed meet with BPS yesterday. Aiden and Meredith's team is working very closely with them, and they also asking for schedule updates immediately. So, and as part of that, as we mentioned earlier, that we're working with the handicap spots in that area. So we're working with those crews. It's very important to us that things go smoothly in that area and this area in place there. Now, in terms of Springdale Street, we do have an easement. We are working with Boston Parks. They are included in our notifications for any construction start or stop. So they are also in close communications with the project overview.
Thank you. I appreciate you giving those updates and putting all that information on the record. I don't have anything else.
All right, seeing no raised hands, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 4?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by NStar Electric, DBA, Eversource Energy for a grant of location in Plaisted Road, Savin Hill Ave, Grampian Way, Old Colony Terrace, Monsignor Dennis O'Callahan Way, Kemp Street, Major Michael O'Connor Way, Dorchester Ave, Father Anthony Sangan Way, and Boston Street is read in the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Congratulations. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. I do have a question. Thank you, commissioners, for all your time and effort on the GOL. We would like to get digging as soon as we possibly could. So how could we facilitate submitting our street opening permits immediately?
Reach out to me and I'll help you.
Thank you so much, Todd.
Yeah, give me a call this afternoon.
Commissioners. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. All right. On to public hearing number 5 on a petition by Verizon New England Incorporated for granted location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in Boston proper. Canal Street, generally at address number 1 between Valenti Way and New Chardon Street. Anthony Rip Valenti Way at Canal Street. This was new business from October 5th. As shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan, Verizon 1 Canal Street Proposed Conduit Installation, 1 sheet dated September 2023. Would the petitioners please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us a brief reintroduction to the project, along with anything that has changed since your last hearing.
Sure. Good morning. My name is Ross Bilodeau, representing Verizon New England. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, so again, Verizon is proposing about 388 feet of new conduit from our existing manhole 375, which is located on Valenti Way, up around the corner to a future shared handhole on Canal Street. We're proposing 1 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC duct with a quad city shadow duct. Since the last time we were out here doing this work to get ahead of the paving project that was happening, and our work and conduit and everything was in by the end of business on 10/6, which was 2 weeks ago tomorrow.
Excellent. Commissioners, questions, comments? Do I see staff or members of the public?
All set.
All right. Do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 5?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Verizon New England for granted location in Canal Street and Anthony Rip Valenti Way as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On to public hearing number 6, on a petition by Cambridge Network Solutions, DBA Lightpath, for a granted location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within Boylston Street Public Way, Boston proper, located generally between Dartmouth Street and Berkeley Street. This is new business, was new business from October 5th, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Granted Location Plan. Proposed lateral conduit placement, 222 Berkeley Street, 5 sheets dated July 21st, 2023. The petitioners please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us a brief reintroduction to what is being proposed.
Good morning, members of the PIC. My name is Erica Hudson. I'm with Sienna Engineering Group, and I am presenting on behalf of Cambridge Network Solutions. And with me is my colleague, Tom McGresta, as well. So Cambridge Network Solutions is seeking grant of location on Berkeley Street to place telecommunications conduit. The proposed conduit installation will start at level 3, manhole number 0515-1903, which is in front of 541 Boylston Street. The conduit will continue southeast on Boylston Street past Clarendon Street to the property line. And this conduit will consist of 1 4-inch scheduled 40 PVC conduit, 1 4-inch quad duct, and 2 1-inch steel plates. The conduit will continue from the property line, and it will continue to Berkeley Street, where it will terminate to 222 Berkeley Street at that building. And that will be approximately 51 feet.
Commissioners, questions?
And I have one more note. That's all.
Go ahead.
At the new business hearing, Para did pose the question of whether CNS would investigate the possibility of utilizing a city shadow duct instead of the new conduit installation. CNS did investigate that possibility of utilizing the city shadow duct to minimize the length of install, but we were unable to identify a viable alternative to complete the install proposed.
Got it. Thank you. I will ask two questions. First, the city is preparing to install a bike lane and bus facility that will involve pavement markings along Boylston Street, which may be disturbed by this work, assuming we install our stuff before you. Will you commit to ensuring that specialty pavement markings such as green indicators for bike lanes or red for bus lanes is restored after the completion of construction here?
Yes.
Okay. And then, thank you. And then the second question, similarly, the sidewalk along Boylston Street in that block between Clarendon and Berkeley has a number of specialty materials associated with it, and wanted to confirm that you will be fully restoring the sidewalk in kind with all of the existing specialty materials put back as they're currently designed.
Yep, the contractor performing this work is aware that all services will need to be restored, and sidewalk restoration will need to be completed as well.
Excellent. Thank you. Commissioners, any other questions?
I have a question, Peter Salvatore, Boston Water and Sewer. We have, our approved plan on file shows a different alignment than this. So I guess I have two questions. Do you have the plan you're presenting now approved by Boston Water and Sewer? Or do you plan to amend it? Because the two, I'm comparing the two, they're under the same co-box number and the same address.
So we added the property line, but this is the same plan.
Okay, because the one I'm looking at, it shows you connecting into the manhole, Verizon manhole 1038. It doesn't show like that additional piece going.
Yeah, I will have to just double check that, but we're only coming out of the level 3 manhole, not Verizon.
Yeah, just because the one comment I would have is that the way you're crossing our water mains, like we prefer a perpendicular crossing, you're kind of crossing it over a very extended path, both our 20-inch water main and our 12-inch water main.
Okay. So we will make sure that we don't intersect with that, and also what would be needed on our end for you guys.
If you could just modify that crossing so it's not, you see the one it's near your match line where it says C sheet 2, right by that match line. Do you see how you're crossing our pipes for quite a distance? If you could shorten that crossing and make it more perpendicular.
Okay. And you're talking about where my cursor is right here?
Correct.
Okay.
If I can jump in for a quick second and share my screen, I do have a copy of the signature from Boston Water and Sewer showing this running line. If you'd like to see that, Peter.
No, I believe you.
Okay.
If you could modify it, that would be great, but I'm not going to hold you up. It's just a comment.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely make those changes and try to accommodate that request. It is it's a heavily congested area, so we're trying to avoid as many facilities as possible. We'll look into possible alternatives.
Okay, thank you.
So Tom and Erica, if you can make those updates, run them by Peter, and then after Peter kind of, just gives an okay, submit those on Mylar to PSC staff, please.
Okay, will do.
Peter, does that work for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Great.
All right, hearing no other comments, PSC staff, members of the public.
All set.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve public hearing number 6?
I'll make a motion to approve petition by Cambridge Network Solutions DBA Light Path for a grant of location in Boylston Street as read in the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? So moved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, on to the new business portion of our agenda, starting with new business item number 1, Arlington Street, Charles Street, Beacon Street, Commonwealth Avenue, Marlborough Street, Boston proper, specific repairs on a joint petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department and the City of Boston Public Works Department. Would the petitioners please introduce themselves and their affiliations, give us an overview of the project, and then walk us through the specific repairs action that you're proposing.
Of course. Hi, Yasha, everyone, PIC. My name's Dan Merrill. I'm a senior engineer with the Boston Transportation Department. I am here with Alec Donowitz of Kittleson, who is, sorry, that's the next one. I apologize. I'm here with Dan McCormick of Tool Engineers, who has been working on this project for a number of years. This project is to upgrade all of the pedestrian crossings around the public garden with updates to the pedestrian experience, as well as making it safe for cyclists to go around without affecting the traffic flow in the area. To that effect, we have hardening on each of the corners for bike facilities and upgraded and additional crosswalks for pedestrians in and about the public garden. That's the basic gist of it. Dan, did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, that covered everything, I believe.
Dan Merrill, are you able to share the specific repairs plans with us? Or either Dan, actually.
I'm hoping Dan McCormick has those.
Sure, I do, yes. So just confirm that everybody can see my screen clearly.
Yep.
So this is our plans that we submitted, I believe, 2 weeks ago. So just going to go to the actual construction sheets. All of the details are generic City of Boston detail. So our work begins at the corner of Arlington Street and Boylston Street, and most of the work here is just flex post hardening for the bike lane and limited mill and overlay for pavement repair, with striping coming after. And our majority of new work is at intersections. So the first intersection with work is the Comm Ave Arlington Street intersection, where we're doing some curb extensions, some widening of crosswalks, and some signal repair and hardening the bike lane with flex posts. And moving northwards along Arlington Street, we are doing a curb extension at Marlborough Street to accommodate better pedestrian ramps, more aligned with the crosswalks. Similar work in the roadway with mill and overlay and hardening the bike lane. And then moving north, we are at the Arlington Street, Beacon Street intersection. Similar character of work being done here, improving pedestrian crossings, a removal of the signal equipment and concrete island inside of Beacon Street, replacing it with a stamped concrete truck apron, hardening for the bike lane on this corner, similar mill and overlay with pavement striping. So all of the bike lane will be striped according to city's standard details. And then we're moving to the east now on Charles Street. We are doing a repair of the sidewalk on the west side of the road, matching the similar condition that's out there right now of the brick sidewalk. And then the same type of treatment with pavement markings, mill and overlay, and hardening of the bike lane. And then moving north, we're at the mid-block crossing for Charles Street. We are improving this pedestrian crossing, improving with concrete medians and widening the crosswalk with better pedestrian signal and pavement striping. And then moving north, we are doing the same work on Charles Street. And then as we get toward the Charles Street, Beacon Street intersection, we are proposing the same type of work as we've done elsewhere, with limited work past our match line. We are not doing any pavement work up above my cursor.
Commissioners, questions? None? I will ask one. There's been quite a bit of linear utility cut work done along Charles Street in the area of the bike lane recently. There's a number of trenches that have been patched there. Can you tell me about the extent of the planned mill and overlay work as it relates to Charles Street specifically?
Sure. We are stopping our work short of the Boylston Street intersection, and as part of our final design, there is improved grading being done, so it's a little hard to see, but on the north side, we've recognized that the pavement quality and the slopes are not optimal, so we're proposing a limited amount of full depth pavement and mill and overlay. We've been working with Public Works on identifying like the extent of a mill leveling course to kind of account for these types of issues. So a regrading plan is part of our final package, which will describe the final pavement condition.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Just for a little more context there too, part of that full depth on that side is so that we can make the sidewalk along the public garden crossing there ADA compliant. We are going to be replacing all of the brick on that west side and making it much more walkable and inviting to pedestrians on that side.
Wonderful. All right, any other commissioners, any other questions, comments? PIC staff or members of the public?
I think we're all set with this one.
All right, will you be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks on November 2nd?
Yes.
All right, we will see you back here then for this one. On to new business item number 2, Pleasant Street, Heston Terrace, Morrill Street, Victoria Street, Mayfield Street, Willis Street, Taft Street, Howes Street, East Cottage Street, Pond Street, Dorchester, specific repairs on a joint petition by the City of Boston Transportation Department and the City of Boston Public Works Department. Would the petitioners please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and give us an overview of the project as well as the specific repairs action being.
Great. Yeah, hi again. This is Pleasant Street from roughly Savin Hill Ave to East Cottage Street. We were asked to make numerous pedestrian safety upgrades along Pleasant Street, and this project is basically a direct response to that. That amounts to mainly bump outs along side streets, as well as a set of 3 raised crossings across Pleasant Street. One at a school at the southern end, and then 2 more further along the street, spaced efficiently to keep speeds low. Additionally, while originally out of scope, the intersection of East Cottage, Pond, and Pleasant Street was added, and decided to kind of reconfigure it to make it a little more legible to everyone using the intersection. There's a lot of calls and complaints about how dangerous it is for pedestrians to cross. So to that effect, we are taking away a lot of street space and adding some green infrastructure, as well as a blue bike station, and creating a new crossing north of the intersection to get to the playground on the west side of the street. And I'm going to pass it off to Alec Donowitz in case there's anything else that he would like to add.
Hi, I'm Alec Donowitz from Kittleson and Associates. We've been working on the design for this. Dan, shall I pull up the plan set to share my screen?
That would be great. Thanks.
All right. So we can walk through sheet by sheet. First here, Pleasant Street near the Heston Terrace intersection and in front of the Edward Everett Elementary School, we're proposing a realignment of edge lines, a raised crosswalk aligning with an auxiliary entrance to the Edward Everett Elementary School. Continuing to the Heston Terrace intersection, we are proposing to reconstruct the pedestrian ramps to be compliant and a little bit wider than the existing ramp throats to facilitate pedestrian travel. We are proposing edgeline realignment on Heston Terrace, and we are also proposing to relocate the existing driveway adjacent to 69 Pleasant Street in order to better protect an existing fire hydrant and better align with the property line between 69 Pleasant Street and the adjacent property. We are also proposing a few drainage improvements in the area and adjustments, and have worked with Public Works Department's street lighting division to reconfigure much of the street lighting conduit and light pole locations in the area. Hearing no questions, I'll continue on to the next location. The next location is the intersection of Pleasant Street and Victoria Street, and also Morrill Street nearby. We're proposing edgeline realignments along Pleasant Street as well as along Victoria and Morrill Street, a raised crosswalk closer to the Morrill Street intersection across Pleasant Street. We are also proposing to reconstruct the ramps across Morrill Street and Victoria Street where they those two streets intersect with Pleasant Street, and adding some drainage infrastructure as necessary due to curb extensions, eliminating existing inlets, and due to the raised crosswalk impacting existing grading of Pleasant Street. We are also proposing to do some substantial street lighting work in the area as well as coordinated with the street lighting division. And as you'll see along the rest of the plans as we continue, we are proposing loam and seed areas in much of the added curb extension space to reduce impervious surfaces, as there's already a planted grass strip along Pleasant Street on either side, separating the sidewalk from the roadway. Next is the intersection between Pleasant Street and Mayfield Street. We are proposing to realign the edge lines along Mayfield Street and Pleasant Street, and proposing raised crosswalks across Mayfield Street across either leg at the intersection. This was to achieve in order to achieve accessible ramps, given the close quarters at the corners, and particularly in the planned southeast corner. There is an existing tree pit that we wanted to accommodate while being able to provide a minimum pinch point of a 4-foot sidewalk in the curb extension. In order to accomplish that end grade and accessible crossing across Mayfield Street, we propose a raised crosswalk. We are also proposing to reconstruct the pedestrian ramps crossing Pleasant Street at this intersection, both north and south of this intersection. We are also proposing this location more limited street lighting work, just one light pole relocation, and drainage infrastructure as in the other locations. Continuing on to the intersections between Pleasant Street and Taft Street and Pleasant Street and Willis Street, we are proposing to realign the edge lines along Pleasant Street Taft Street and Willis Street. We are proposing to reconstruct the pedestrian ramps crossing Taft Street at the intersection of Pleasant Street, as well as a raised crosswalk across Pleasant Street closer to the Willis Street intersection, and also proposing to reconstruct the pedestrian ramps across Willis Street at the intersection with Pleasant Street. In this location, we also are proposing some more substantial street lighting reconfiguration in the area as coordinated with the street lighting division, and drainage infrastructure adjustments and proposals as necessary with the raised crosswalk and curb extensions proposed. The next intersection is Pleasant Street and Howe Street. We are proposing to realign the edge lines along Pleasant Street and Howe Street to tighten the radii in order to provide the space necessary to construct 2 directional and compliant pedestrian ramps. We are also proposing striped daylighting for the crosswalk and along Pleasant Street in order to ensure sight lines from Howe Street drivers are sufficient to see oncoming traffic along Pleasant Street. No drainage infrastructure is proposed here, and street lighting infrastructure as well is not proposed at this location. And finally, most substantial intersection reconstruction is at Pleasant Street, East Cottage Street, and Palm Street, starting at the south end. We are proposing to adjust the edge lines along Pleasant Street and construct 2 new pedestrian ramps, replacing the existing pedestrian ramps that are currently farther south, bringing the crossings closer to the rest of the intersection and legs. We are also proposing to align the sidewalk on the southwest corner to maximize the amount of green space around an existing tree where my cursor is, and also to facilitate space to add a new tree in that area. Continuing to the left, the west leg of East Cottage Street, we are proposing to reconstruct the pedestrian ramp on the north side near the playground, and also add a pedestrian ramp on the south side. So now we'll have 2 directional ramps on that southwest corner as opposed to today's apex ramp. We will be removing the existing concrete island today, and removing the bypass right turn lane to tighten up the intersection and hopefully slow speeds for turning drivers. Continuing north, we are proposing a bio-retention area, green stormwater infrastructure with 3 inlets in front of the playground here, between the sidewalk and the roadway. Continuing north, this is the proposed crosswalk Dan mentioned earlier. We're proposing a new crosswalk across Pond Street in the northern leg here, with 2 new pedestrian ramps to facilitate travel to the playground on the west side. Connection that does not exist today, but we heard from the public is definitely desired. Over in the northeast corner, we are proposing to replace an apex ramp with 2 directional ramps, and also proposing a bio-retention area as well in the northern section of this curb extension with 1 inlet. And we are proposing landscaped areas a little more substantial than loam and seed as in other areas along the corridor in the curb extensions that include bio-retention areas where there is not enough space to include its own bio-retention area. We are also proposing to construct directional pedestrian ramps across the east leg of East Cottage Street, which will both be replacing, the north one will be replacing an apex ramp or a misaligned ramp, and the south one will also be replacing skewed ramp. And curb extensions will shorten all of the crosswalks and significantly reduce the impervious area in this intersection, and make things operate a bit more orderly and more predictably for everyone on the street. We are also proposing substantial street lighting changes as coordinated with the street lighting division and substantial drainage infrastructure related to the bioretention areas as well as catch basins proposed necessarily due to the substantial curb extensions. And full depth reconstruction will be done within the main area of the intersection, as with these substantial curb extensions and reduction of pavement area, it'll be necessary to ensure we have proper drainage and grading.
All right, thank you for walking us through that with such good detail. Commissioners, any questions, comments? All right, I will just offer the comment that it is wonderful to see all of these improvements here, but in particular, this intersection that we have on the screen right now, it was a problematic intersection that was adjusted with some quick build intervention a few years ago, and it's great to see the follow-up here with a full and very thoughtful redesign of that intersection. So appreciate that work and the pathway there. PIC staff or members of the public, questions or comments?
I don't see any. I think we're all set.
Just two other things that I wanted to confirm. So one, the very beginning or much further up south on Pleasant Street, you talked about a driveway realignment at 69 Pleasant, and just wanting to confirm what kind of engagement has happened with the resident of that, or the residents of that building, the owners of that building.
I will have to double check with our planners to confirm that. I know that there was some discussion. I don't know the degree to that off the top of my head.
Okay, that would be great if you can, at your public hearing, provide just an update on that. Occasionally people get a little surprised when we rebuild their driveways, so I want to make sure that we head that up. The second question is, I know that much of the planted area here is really just an extension of the existing seeded or grass verge on the road, but it does seem like there's more substantial green infrastructure elements at the intersection by the playground. What is the expectation for maintenance of any new types of green infrastructure elements or things that require, for example, for stormwater to flow in that require cleaning and maintenance? Is that covered under one of our existing green infrastructure maintenance contracts, or how are we?
Yeah, we have been working with Kate England closely to make sure that this matches what she needs to be able to maintain it.
Great, excellent. All right, I have no other questions. Sounds like nothing else from the commission or from the commission staff. Next, no raised hands. So with that, will you be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks?
Yes.
All right, we will see you on November 2nd. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On to new business item 3, Commonwealth Avenue, Chiswick Road, Sutherland Road, Brighton, specific repairs on a petition by the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority. Would the petitioners please introduce themselves, their affiliations, and walk us through what is being proposed?
Good morning, Commissioners. Hope everybody's having a good day. I'm Dino DeFranco. I am the Municipal Liaison for the MBTA's Transformation Program. And with me is Curly Champion. He's the MBTA Project Manager for Green Line Transformation. Just a little bit about why we're here. We're here for 2 stations on the B branch Green Line. It's a grade crossings improvements project. And it's FTA mandated. And they were also nice enough to give us a construction deadline. They want the work completed by the end of the year, December 31st, 2023. just to let you know, the work at Chiswick Road and Station and Sutherland Road Station is short-term work to remove barriers to access so people can cross Com Ave and get to the MBTA right-of-way at marked crosswalks and curbing and removing other obstructions. These short-term measures are going to be constructed and will remain in place until permanent crossings are constructed together with planned station upgrades at both stations. So this is a short-term fix mandated by the FTA until we can get and make them permanent. Okay, and as soon as we get through PIC, once hopefully we get through new business, I will immediately start engaging with neighborhood services and with the community in this area to make sure that everybody's briefed and the outreach is completed. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Curly Champion, again, the project manager for Green Line Transformation for the MBTA, and he can go over the work that's actually happening. There's not much, but there's some good improvements here.
All right, well, good morning all. Good morning, commissioners. If you don't mind, I'd like to share my screen. Is everyone seeing what I'm seeing?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go, Kelly.
All right, thank you. Well, good morning again. So our plans cover repairs at 2 locations on the B branch, specifically at Chiswick and Sutherland Roads. Right now, we are looking at the Chiswick portion, the Chiswick Road Station, where new curb ramps will be installed. If my cursor is being seen on the screen, these are where the curb ramps will be installed on both sides of the platform, as well as the eastbound portion of Chiswick Road. Well, the eastbound side of the platform, Chiswick Road. We'll also have modified curb radius improved on the eastbound side of the platform at Chiswick Road. Newly painted crosswalks on both sides of the platforms, Wallingford Road side, Kinross Road side, and Chiswick Road side here. We'll also have improved realigned and crosswalks at the intersection. So as you see, there's the existing crosswalks there on each side. So we'll just realign and improve those crosswalks at Chiswick Road. Any questions so far? Taking that as a no, I'm going to shift you guys out of the way. Sorry?
These are all the plans, or?
Yeah, well, we have this, you're looking at Chiswick Road, and then subsequently would be Sutherland.
We've got a separate plan for Sutherland Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I think we can just move through both of them, and then we'll come back if there's questions.
Okay, so moving down to Sutherland. Okay. All right, so Sutherland, we are planning to construct a new slope walkway, seen here. Improving the curb entrances, similar to Chiswick on each side of the platform. We're also improving, realigning the crosswalks at the intersections of Colborne Road and Com Ave. So as you see the L-shaped existing crosswalk, we'll be realigning and restructuring the crosswalk here. And the plan is to remove the existing crosswalk, shift it over to the opposite side of Sutherland Road. Yeah, I think that's what I have. Just making sure I'm reading my notes correctly. Yeah, so very similar to the previous slide, Chiswick Road, we are improving curb ramps and modifying and improving crosswalks on both sides of the platform or reservation area.
Great. Commissioners, questions, comments?
Maybe more of a Sarah question, but in some of these locations, you are bringing the nose of that median
Yes.
over to the other side of the crosswalk, which is good and protects the crosswalk.
Correct.
In some locations you're not. Is there a reason? And right, like, could we have the physical piece on both sides of the crosswalk?
I could take that down. I'm not sure if it was a look over, if we just happened to miss it, but I can take that down.
In both locations, you do one of them, but not.
Yeah, and not the other. I will take that down as a no, just to make sure that these.
So Amy, what was that? Was that the curb cuts or was that what was that again?
Yeah, so you see the little, right here circling the little pink extension that we put on that island on the opposite side of the crosswalk?
Yeah.
Well, the same thing should be on the other side that you see here, and then also at the other location, it's the same thing where there's one there and one.
You know, Amy, I'm betting that may be just a typo, but I will get back to you this afternoon with that answer.
Perfect.
If it's a typo, I'll just correct it. If there's a reason for it, I'll get it over to you, but I'll make sure that happens this afternoon.
Commissioners, other questions? I will just say that if we had a competition for the goofiest crosswalks in Boston, this one at Chiswick Road would almost certainly be a contender, so I am very happy to see it getting fixed.
Commissioner, I knew you were going to be a fan of these new crosswalks. I knew it.
Yeah. Well, you know, these are some bad spots. So
We've had that discussion previously, you and I, so I knew you'd like this.
Yeah, good to see. PIC staff, members of the public, any comments?
I think we're good on this.
All right, excellent. Will you guys be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks?
Yes, we will.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you on November 2nd.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Todd,
Thanks, Dina. Thanks,
Take
Charlie.
care now.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, last but not least, new business number 4, Chestnut Hill Avenue, Beacon Street, Brighton, granted location on a petition by Verizon New England Incorporated. Would the petitioners please reintroduce themselves and give us an overview of what is proposed here?
Yes, good morning. Again, Ross Billiter, representing Verizon New England. Sharing my screen here. Okay, everybody should be able to see that?
It's not yet, but there we go. Yep, got it.
Okay, cool. Verizon is proposing approximately 415 feet for an existing manhole. Sorry about that. An existing manhole 38 over 502A, which is actually in Brookline. Running down Chestnut Hill Avenue, across the city line here. Just shown right here. To the intersection of Chestnut Hill and Beacon Street, where we'll go to a proposed shared handhole. It may be important to note that we have reached out to the MBTA to see if they had any concerns, and they had no comments regarding this dig. And this Brookline portion of the work was already approved as well.
Commissioners, any questions, comments?
So I'm not sure if this falls within the Brookline jurisdiction, but there is a crosswalk frequently used by the residents of the nearby development to get to the reservoir station, and we just want to ensure that remains accessible for folks during construction activities.
Sure.
and it might fall within Brookline jurisdiction, but Boston
Right.
residents do use that as well.
Right. I know that this is a very busy area, so we will ensure that, we take care of those folks.
I have a bike-related thing here. So I believe that part of this traverses a section of Chestnut Hill Ave at Beacon where there is there are cross bike markings guiding people across Chestnut Hill Ave. Those markings have a sort of specific angle alignment in order to ensure that people on bikes are not crossing the tracks at too acute an angle such that they get caught in the tracks and fall. So both during construction, it's going to be important to make sure that cones and other barriers are placed in such a way that it doesn't force bikes to cross the tracks at an unsafe angle. And post-construction, immediate restoration of the pavement markings that guide people across the tracks safely is essential. So want to make sure that that is factored into your construction management plan, and your contractor understands the need for quick restoration of disrupted pavement markings here.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. I will bring that to their attention.
Okay. Commissioners, any other questions, comments? GIC staff or members of the public?
Ross, you said that this line is leading to a new shared handhold. Can you confirm that that's to service a new DAS node on a streetlight?
All I can really say is being placed by Externet, so not sure what the purpose is. I just know that we're trying to get fiber over to it.
Can you let us know in 2 weeks?
Sure.
Thanks.
All right, we'd be ready for your public hearing in 2 weeks.
Yes, November 2nd.
Excellent. We will see you then. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. And with that, we're at the end of our agenda. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Thank you all very much. See you soon.